Philadelphia's Mardi Gras celebration could be over before it starts. South Street store owners want a street-wide moratorium on the rowdy festivities that have caused a lot of trouble over the years. Beverly Williams live on South Street with more on today's announcement. Beth?
The owners of South Street businesses and a group of artists have announced a partial moratorium on the Mardi Gras celebration this year. That celebration falls on March 4th.
Have a last call by 7, everyone out by 8. This is a voluntary effort by the liquor license establishments on South Street because we are good citizens.
90% of the bar owners will shut down at 7 p.m. to avoid what happened during Mardi Gras 2001. A riot, 40,000 people, businesses trashed and looted, women flashing their breast. Homeowners in nearby neighborhoods were outraged. The partial moratorium is part of a larger plan to revitalize South Street.
And what it's all about for us is developing the business opportunities on the street, and we have an outstanding group that's been put together to help establish and achieve this.
Last year's celebration was more orderly. About 10,000 people showed up, but there was also a very heavy police presence, and that police presence cost the city $1 million to keep the peace. Live from South Street, Beverly Williams.
Well, if you're planning on hitting Philadelphia's South Street to go drinking on Mardi Gras, listen up. Things will be different. As Beverly Williams shows us, bar owners are taking an unusual step to make sure there are no wild scenes this year.
2 years ago, Mardi Gras on South Street drew a crowd of 40,000 people and disintegrated into a drunken riot. But last year, against a heavy police presence, the celebration was for the most part peaceful. The owners of businesses on South Street want to keep it that way. Barry Cassidy spoke for restaurant and bar owners.
We will have a 7 p.m. closing on Mardi Gras Day, March 4th. Over 90% of the establishments serving alcohol will have a last call by 7, everyone out by 8.
Cassidy and others who represent an organization called South Street Renaissance say Mardi Gras 2001 does not represent the true flavor of South Street.
We have gotten a black eye from Mardi Gras, but it's an undeserved black eye. I want to accentuate the positive.
In an attempt to restore the original character of South Street, an eclectic mix of boutique shops and artists, there are plans to revitalize the area. They include new street lights and renovated storefronts.
I hope everybody will come down to South Street, part of the new South Street Renaissance.
We try to work together and keep it a happy, healthy street.
With the revitalization of South Street, the business owners along here are hoping to eventually make Mardi Gras a family affair. Beverly Williams, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
You're watching NBC 10 News at 4.
Some Philadelphia bar owners have come up with a plan to keep Fat Tuesday celebrations under control. Last year was calm, but that wasn't the case during Mardi Gras 2001, you'll remember. Tens of thousands of people jammed onto South Street. Fights broke out. Stores were looted. 74 people arrested. South Street merchants want to avoid a replay of scenes like these. And today they announced dramatic new changes.
We will have a 7 p.m. closing on Mardi Gras Day, March 4th. Over 90% of the establishments serving alcohol will have a last call by 7, everyone at 8.
Now, business owners say still South Street is the hippest street in the city, and they want to keep things positive. They're planning some big changes, including new sidewalks and street lights, along with many building renovations along South Street before nightfall.
Right, okay, it fell quickly, didn't it?
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program with Gary Papa, Dave Roberts, and Jim Gardner.
Well, South Street is getting a facelift. Today, store owners announced what they're calling a South Street Renaissance. The South Street Head House District announced several changes this year, including how the area will handle the upcoming Mardi Gras holiday. And here's more on that.
We as a district have decided that we will have a 7 p.m. closing on Mardi Gras Day, March 4th. Over 90% of the establishments serving alcohol will have a last call by 7, everyone out by 8.
Well, as you may remember, last year's celebrations were virtually incident-free, but business wants to make sure another incident like this one in 2001 doesn't happen. This is just the beginning of the changes. Business owners announced they'll add new street lights, sidewalks, and trees to the area. They'll create a gathering place at 2nd and South for public concerts and other parties. Owners hope the new look will give the area an economic boost.
This is WB17 News at 10.
Mardi Gras is less than 3 weeks away, but if you're planning to celebrate on South Street this year, you may want to have a plan B ready. WB17's Allison Harmlin joins us now to tell you about the game plan the city is getting into place. Allison.
Tony, it's fast approaching, there's no question, but after what happened in 2001, folks here are really trying to clean up their image to make sure that Fat Tuesday 2003 looks nothing like the riots of 2001.
Back decades, this is the hippest street in town, immortalized in rock and roll songs. This is still Philadelphia's primary destination, or one of its primary destinations for tourists.
But on Mardi Gras 2001, South Street was the destination for wreaking havoc, when thousands of people flooded the streets, getting drunk, getting arrested, and in the end causing 6 figures worth of damage.
We will have a 7 p.m. closing on Mardi Gras Day, March 4th.
This Fat Tuesday will be tame, according to South Street Renaissance, a group of local business owners who are closing early this Mardi Gras and building up the best South Street has to offer.
There's so much energy going towards really developing the street to be as all it can be.
In other words, anything but this. The goal this year is to build South Street as a major destination for good, clean fun.
But if you're coming on March 4th, you better come here early because we're closing early.
And it couldn't be early enough for Councilman Frank DeCicco, who offers up another option for would-be revelers.
We're not promoting it. There is no Mardi Gras. If you want to go to Mardi Gras, the rates are cheap. Get on a plane and go to New Orleans.
Oh, there you have it. And Councilman DeCicco helped secure about $1 million to spruce up South Street. They're going to get new sidewalks and new street lamps. And the bottom line is, folks, it's okay to have fun, but it can't get out of hand as it did in 2001. Live on South Street, Allison Harmlin, WB17 News at 10.
Well, you'll have less time to party at Mardi Gras on South Street this year. Bar owners have agreed to shut down early. Our Joyce Evans is on South Street with details. Joyce?
Well, Dawn, you remember what it was like down here last year, and especially the year before. If you don't get your party on by the dinner hour, well, you're going to be out of luck. South Street bars say they're thinking long term, and they really don't care about losing your business on one night.
We're not as concerned about the loss of revenues from Mardi Gras. We're more excited about all the new changes that are taking place on South Street.
Changes that are really hard to make if this image of drunken rowdiness on Mardi Gras 2 years ago outweighs any sales pitch to lure any new businesses to South Street. Much tighter security last year still didn't stop all the foolishness. The hope this year is if the spirits stop flowing by 7 p.m. and that crowd is kicked out on the street by 8, they'll call it an early night. Still, Councilman Frank DeCicco says the police are not taking any chances.
There is no Mardi Gras celebration on South Street this year. And if you thought there was nothing to do last year, there'll be less to do this year.
And a lot is at stake here. A $1 million grant has been put up. A huge revitalization program is underway right now in the South Street District. Joyce Evans, Fox News.
CN8, powered by Comcast. Now, live from the Comcast Network, you're watching CN8 News at 10.
Well, Mardi Gras celebrations in the South Street area of Philadelphia are put on a moratorium now due to years' trouble in the past and the unrest. Sources say that many of the bars in the area will be closing at 7 o'clock on Mardi Gras. Some store owners say that they may close early as well. During the past few years, police have had their hands full with unruly crowds, particularly during the evening hours.
This is a voluntary effort by the liquor license establishments on South Street, because we are good citizens, we are stellar members of the business community, and we have the continued positive development of the street.
Despite the moratorium, Police Chief Inspector Keith Sadler says that there will still be a strong police presence on the streets on South Street, with Mardi Gras coming March 4th this year.
Clear skies, 27 degrees in Center City. It's 6:04. Good evening. I'm Dave Heller with WHYY News. Almost all the bars along South Street say they'll close at 7 p.m. for the Mardi Gras celebration on March 4th this year. The early last call is an attempt to prevent a repeat of the 2001 event that included drunken brawls, vandalism of storefronts, and over 200 arrests. In response, the city stepped up police presence last year, but many South Street businesses are critical of the city spending the extra money. Instead, they say the celebration should be canceled altogether. Chief Inspector of the Philadelphia Police Department, Keith Sattler, says eliminating the event will not solve the problem.
If every business was closed, it still would not prevent the amount of kids that are going to flock there that night because they feel there's going to be a certain amount of party environment that's going to exist on the street. So closing the bars at 7 o'clock is certainly not going to benefit the bars because they're going to lose a night of business by closing that early.
Philadelphia officials stress Mardi Gras is not a city-sponsored event, but a popular time for raucous celebration. In the past 5 years, the festivities have forced many shop owners to close early or stay closed for the entire day out of safety concerns. Kevin Gordon, general manager of Pearl Art and Craft, says only the bars reap the benefits of Mardi Gras.
I think it's unfair for one business to make profit at the expense of another, and that's exactly what would be happening. If the bars would like to chip in a share of their profit to cover our loss, then sure, we'd all be fine for it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Bar owners say the 7 p.m. closing is a voluntary effort. They're planning to meet with police officials to lay out their overall plans for the celebration.